Cuba sí, tabaco para mascar, tradición cubana. Tabaco para mascar, es una poción, la masticas y después la botamos. Tabaco para mascar, tradición cubana. Masca tabaco. ¡Hey! ¡Cuba!
Cuba. Welcome to Cuba, baby. What's your name, sir?
Luis.
Why do you like Cuba?
What do you like?
Yeah.
Because I'm born here. It's very safe. I'm living without problem, without stress. Slowly, life.
Good.
We got many problems, but living quiet.
So Cuba does get most of the things produced locally because of the embargo with the US, and yani huku watu wanasuffer. You know, at times we say Kenya, we have our own shit, lakini hapa hivi it's on another level. This is because of the government and the embargo from the US, where this should have started during the Fidel Castro revolution and all that. We're not getting into politics deep, but I can promise you Kenya tuko mbele. Hizi mahao zote unaona huku iko kinyumba 40 floors, yeah? Tallest building in Cuba, the National Hotel, which is over there, looks like a castle. Huku hakuna ati mtu amekuja from nowhere. Actually, they don't have a business na maforene. You know, the government literally owns everything. So Cubans hawana vitu zao, and that's how the government wants. So, which means that the same communist government collects all the taxes and or rent or whatever it is, and that's how they manage to run the country. A friend of mine told me Cuba is sinking slowly, and I believe it, because I've seen it walking around. You see before and today there's a very, very big difference. All these buildings are worn out, you know. It's $20, $30, $40. This is the average income of a Cuban right on the street. Cubans don't pay rent, so housing wanakaa wamepatiwa na gava. The government does one thing which is a bit different from Kenya, and this is like subsidizing for the local mwananchi, whereby every month every individual or a Cuban citizen gets a coupon where they can go with this coupon to special shops. I hope I'll be able to show you guys around. But anyway, they can go with the coupons to special shops, and then on that coupon, you are limited to like 1 crate of egg per individual, or even half a crate of egg per individual. So kama ni baba anapata half an egg, which is half an egg of a crate. Mama anapata half an egg of a crate. The kids also do get a coupon. So that's how the government tries to just make life easy for its citizens. But anyway, the pay is also so low, so that it's quite sad. It's quite sad. Cubans as people hawana ile motivation ya kufanya job. So mtu ana job just because of the fact that you have to wake up and go and do something. Otherwise, hawana ile motivation yenye Kenyans waga tuko nayo, because Kenyans sisi ni hustlers. Because of that, the very low income, unakuta most of the people wana resort kupiga umalaya, and especially with foreigners, because everybody is out looking for a dollar. As we move on, we understand how these things work together. So ni dollar. Ukitoka tu hivi, mtu akikuzungumzia anatafuta vile atatoa dola kwako. It doesn't matter ni jamaa, ni dem, wote wanataka kufanya whatever they're doing and offer some services. I don't want to go into details. Nimezungumza mambo ya upoko. They want to offer services so they can get dollars from a foreigner. Akikupatia rate yake anakupatia na dola. Na ni kama mnaenda, kama ni short, ngapi? $20. You had me right. Actually, education, medical, everything around it's free by the government. Na hiyo government unasikia hawana pesa. Unaget, so unakuta as much as guys are educated, jobs ni zero. Ama daktari walikuja Kenya, by the way, to na standards za huku, they are being paid $30 per month, a whole doctor. Hebu niambie Mkenya atakuja kutafuta huku nini? So first things first, huku ni kwa Keroro overall. You wake up in the morning, you go for breakfast, wanakuuliza nini utakunywa, wana expect you'll say unataka this. Rum is Cuban from the word go. And so you just have to have it. Yani hauna choice, you don't come under. Basically, if there's something which is cheap in this country, ni Keroro, you know. Na say wamependa pombe yao. Where I'm staying, sorry, it's in a mess. Simple place, functional. 2 beds. That's the lavatory. There. And leo tuko Havana. Karibuni wase Havana baby. Jana nimeona Land Rover kikipita hapa chini. I'm on second floor, right? Ikipita hapa chini inazungumza hiyo Spanish, and then kuuliza mtu akaniambia ni propaganda ya gava. So wanapita hivi every day wakiwaambia vile gava yao ni, unakumbuka time ya Moi. So Cuba watu kama hivi. Unaona ule mama. Sorry. Quite sad because guys were desperate. Cuba is the biggest island on the Caribbean area, and they speak Spanish. So ukijua Spanish, wewe uko sawa. Huku ni Spanish 24/7. Nani warembo? Guy, mimi sijaona watu warembo hivyo. Mtu akitafuta bibi ni huku, sio kwingine. Unakuja huku. Kuna 3 colors. Kuna mtu anakaa kama mzungu kabisa, kuna mtu anakaa hapo katikati mchanganyiko, alafu kuna nyeuzi kama sisi. Okay? So this is because of the fact that the country was governed by Spain or Spanish explorers one time way back. I don't remember the year and it's not important. I think the most important thing to understand how Cuba became. So when the Spanish came, Cuba was growing sugarcane, and sugarcane was like gold to the US. Unaona? So because there was no labor, they decided to go to West Africa and import slavery or slaves to come and work on these very huge sugar farms. Ukienda Shago kuna kama Mumias. Wakaleta pia watu kutoka wapi? Kutoka the Caribbean countries, and then kuja huku, so wamechanganyikana hivyo. Okay? So before tuendelee, hiyo ndio lifestyle ya Cuba. Mtu tugari kizuri. That's typical Cuba. But we shall look at that to try to understand why they have those beautiful cars. So anyway, back to the idea of sugarcane farming and all that. So these guys came, and with time they've mingled together. Wamepata watoto, they build families and all that. So ukienda kwa street, it's all mixed. Utaona all types of colors, but by the end of the day ni wasupu. Oh my god, unaangalia mtu na kama unaona model. This is just a normal car in Cuba. Look at it. Beautiful. It doesn't take you long to notice the old vintage cars on the streets of Cuba, which, as a matter of fact, takes you back to the 1940s, 1950s on the US streets. And this is because of the sanctions which the government has imposed on Cuban government since then. For that reason,
Cubans have learned to repair their cars, and most of these cars, you'll get that they do have different engines, and they're very special with the Cuban population because it's become like a national heritage.
Where are you going to?
Nowhere.
Rich guys from the US were gonna kuja hapa kuspend pesa, you know, like gambling and all that. So they did actually have a lot of money one time in a lifetime back in the 60s. But after all this with the Fidel Castro and the embargo, things just changed. And so just at the moment, there are no foreigners investing around. Hakuna kitu inaendelea. There are two parts of the city which I've seen. There's the downtown, uko usahau, uko nako kulioza, you know. Houses, they're old, and when you go on the other side of the city, like City Central, which is almost behind this building here, ile side ya uko yenye mnaona uko hivyo, uko nje iko poa. I mean, things are much more organized, not perfect, but at least you can see that somebody has been working on it. Ukikuja sasa downtown, which is upande huu, behind that big hotel which is government. So hiyo side ya huko kabisa, huko nako kulioza kitambo kabisa. If you sit down with a Cuban and talk to them, they'll actually tell you that they're sad, you know, deep in the heart, but they don't show it. I've tried to get an interview with Cubans. They don't want to be on camera. That democracy and freedom of speech and all that. Hapa hakuna. Watakutafuta. Gava itakutafuta. Unakumbukaga time ya Moi, gava itakutafuta. And na itakuget mali uko. As we talked before, dollar is number one. You know, dollar is number one, and people love dollar for one specific reason, which you've already taken. Others, the local currency is called peso, and the government also has much control on it. So which means that me as a tourist, if I want to change a dollar and I go to a government agency, at the moment it's 1 to 120 peso, which $1 to 120 peso. Nikienda back street, kwa wasewa streets, wasewa taxi, tour guides, you know, there are vendors on the streets, they'll give me a better change whereby I'm getting just now $1 to 330 pesos. So you see the difference. It's like 3 times the amount that the government is doing the exchange rate. Kenya, we don't have that type of bullshit. I cannot be able to use my ATM card. Hapa hivi siwezi tumia. I work. So which means when I was coming down, I had to like change all the dollars that I'm going to be using. Food wise, ni kama home. Kuna githeri, kuna ngwashe, kuna waru, na hii unapata on breakfast, by the way. So, and this is basically food yenye tumekuwa tukikulaga home. Forget about my McDonald's. Hizo huku hivi ni history. Hawajui? You know, like KFC, McDonald's, all this chain of restaurants, huku hakuna. So thanks guys for watching. Your boy Hustler Day. Please, if you're new on the channel, do subscribe, give us a like, and hope you enjoyed the video. Please do share it to people who think the content is relevant, and bye bye.